Hey everybody, this is Ryan. Let's check out the lick from Isn't She Lovely? It looks like this. Isn't she lovely? Made from love. Amazing benefits for this riff. We are looking at doing alternative picking in a triplet pattern. We are learning pentatonic positions. We are going to look at how to do this finger style with slides and with hammer-ons. And we're also going to look at a new way to change a dominant chord to just a major chord and play an inversion of that dominant chord that's super useful. So let's dive right into it. Looking at the tabs, the way that this is laid out is the top part of the tab is the way that I typically will play this riff, but the bottom way is the way that you could also play this riff. If you're comfortable with this pentatonic pattern that you may have picked up on from guitar class or a YouTube video or something like that, you could go with this bottom method because it takes you into that pentatonic pattern like this. And then you're in the pentatonic box like that. If you wanted to learn a new pentatonic pattern, or if you wanted to hang out more in this area where we typically play chords and stuff, then you could do this pattern like that. So there's a couple different ways to play it. Now, if you choose to do this finger picking like this, this is probably going to be the easiest way to do it if you're first starting out. So your thumb is going to play the A string, and you're going to put your first finger on the second fret of the A. Then you're going to use either your pinky or your ring finger to hammer on to the fourth fret. Then you can use either your thumb or your pointer finger here to play the second fret on the D string. And then do the same thing, hammer on. But now you're going to take whatever finger landed on the fourth fret and you're going to slide up to the sixth fret like this. Then you're going to do first finger on the fourth fret of the G string and then hammer on. And then you're going to use whatever finger is available to play the fifth fret on the B string. And you can do this as a double pluck where you're using the same finger to pluck it like that, or you can alternate pluck like this. Either way, it's totally fine. Now, if you're going to do it on the bottom path, it's basically the same fingering as the top path, except for the very end. So first finger 7th fret on the low E, hammer on to the 9th fret, then 7th fret on the A, hammer on to the 9th fret, then you're going to slide up 2 frets to the 11th fret, then play the 9th fret on the D string, then hammer on to the 11th fret, and then the only difference is instead of using your middle finger, now you're going to use your pointer and play this 9th fret right here. There's advantages to using either way. I go back and forth between which I want to do. Now, if you're going to alternate pick this, we only have 2 downstrokes, but there's 3 beats that we have to account for when we're doing triplets. So what that means is that honestly, you can do whatever stroke works for you and it's going to be fine. So because it starts on an upbeat, I tend to start with an upstroke on 2, and then a downstroke on 4, and then an upstroke on 2, upstroke on 4, and so on. So it just kind of depends on what you want to do. You can also start this on a downstroke on 2, and then an upstroke, and then a downstroke, and then an upstroke. And then you can pick all these notes. Or what's really cool about this lick in general is that you can also pick this, but also put the legato in too. So you can do this. All this lick is just going up the pentatonic scale in triplets. It's starting on like the and of 2, which is pretty cool. The other thing to note about this lick is that we're swinging it. So we're not straight eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, but we're 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, a 2, like that. But we're not going to swing it right now. We're just going to go through the notes as eighth notes. So let's go through this together nice and slow, like this. about that fast. 1, 2, ready, go. The slide, if you need it. 1, 2, ready, go. One more time. 2, ready, go. And so again, you can do that whatever way you want to. If you want to do it finger picked or alternate picked, then you can do it that way. If you want to do it legato, you can do whatever way. Yeah, so it's really cool. Actually, let's practice it alternate picked, or do it the opposite way that you just did it, just so you get a feel for what it may be like. Let's do it 3 times. 1, 2, ready, go. One, 2, ready, go. The idea is just go back and forth, down or up, for every note that you do. One last time, alternate pick. Here we go now. Great. And then once you get to this E note right here, you do. And then you have this rest. So what you can do on the rest is, because we're going to start on an up strum, I like to go ahead and do the down strum on this 8th note rest right here. And it looks like this. So what I'm doing there is I'm strumming. It doesn't matter if I'm doing this fingers or pick, but I'm strumming. And as I'm strumming, I'm putting my palm on the strings like this. And it gets me a really nice snare kind of sound. So just try this with me. When I do it this way, it's kind of like my thumb smacks the strings like that, as my other fingers glide across the strings. This is a really great way to get that snare sound if you're doing like a snare on 2 and 4 type strum pattern. And then after we do that, we do this. It'll look like this. So that we're gonna, on the G sharp, we're gonna do an up strum and then a down strum right here. So let me show you this chord. This is basically an F chord that you may have learned to play like this. It's ring finger 3rd fret on the D, middle finger 2nd fret on the G, and then your first finger is doing like this mini bar here by flattening this joint right there. And when I play this chord, I tend to wrap my thumb around, and I don't have any gap right here. Like I'm grabbing the guitar neck as I'm playing this chord. And for my larger handed people, you can take your thumb and try to play the 1st fret in the low E. For my smaller handed people that can't do this, you can still have your thumb up, and if you can partially mute the low E string, that's awesome. And for my smaller hand and bigger handed people, if you can take your ring finger and put it not on the very tip like this, but on the pad like this, that way you can very slightly touch the low A string like this, then you can get all these strings, you can get these bottom 2 strings muted and get the bottom 4 strings ringing out. So just try playing this with me one string at a time. And the reason why we're going over this F chord is because this is a very good F chord to know. But now what I want you to do is take this F chord and I want you to move it up 1 fret like this. And now we are playing F sharp instead of F. So this is a really great inversion or triad to know, because you can move this around and play chords that used to be huge bar chords. Now they're just 4 notes instead of 6. Move it up 1 more fret. We've got G. And now move it up 1 more fret, and this is the chord that we're going to play, is G sharp. What I would recommend is that if you are playing the lick in a way where you're playing on the 7th fret here, you can either do that, or you can also play this G sharp dominant chord. So I'll show you that real quick too. It's ring finger 11th fret on the A, middle finger 10th fret on the D. My pinky is on the 11th fret of the G, and my pointer is on the 9th fret of the B. And then this string is muted by my ring finger very lightly touching the low E. And then this string is muted from one of the fingers touching it. In this case, I think it's my ring finger. So 1 string at a time, it sounds like this. Try this with me. And I would really only use this voicing if you're planning on playing it where you're starting on the 7th fret, because it's very quick access to you. But then as we go into the other chords, you are going to have to shift down to this position anyway. So it might be a good idea too to, once you play this note, just go ahead and get used to that shift to what we would call 4th position, where your first finger's on the 4th fret here. So now let's practice the lick. What I'm going to do is count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and that's when we start. It's right here. And the hardest part is going to be going from here to here. So that's going to look like 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, and duh, like that. We're going to just get out of the triplet field just for practicing this transition here. But let's go ahead and get started. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, E, and 4. Let's try that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, E, and 4. The last thing to note before we go into the practice video, when you're on this 5 right here, you're going to take the middle finger, move it up a string, and then do the F chord. That can make it a lot easier to get to this G sharp inversion right here. So this was the tutorial for Isn't She Lovely? See y'all in the practice video.